Who's got 2 thumbs and a delayed review of the Mario Galaxy movie because of a terrible head cold? This guy. So the Mario Galaxy movie, it's really good. I enjoyed it. If my voice sounds like shit, it's because I have a bad head cold, so I may end up posting a longer review or some other longer thing about this later when I can talk. Probably an awkward edit right there for the same reason. I actually watched this on Monday night, and the embargo dropped on Wednesday afternoon. Still feels like I'll probably spend more time talking about this than a review probably needs to, because it has kind of been borne out that these Mario movies from Illumination are, in my opinion, sort of critic-proof. Like, we're 2 movies in already, and the reviews of them, which on the press side seem to be negative, and on the audience and gamer or YouTube whatever side tend to lean more positive. Seems like it's critics and fans reviewing the movie and reviewing the reviews at each other instead of just talking about the movie, which becomes this postmodern discoursey thing, which I genuinely hate about it. I think both of these movies are very much fine, and in both cases, the first one and the second one, it's less a matter of film critics approaching these movies wrong. I don't necessarily think that there's a wrong way to approach a movie or review a movie or whatever, but it's sort of looped in on itself into this bigger discourse, bigger discussion, whatever you want to call it. By now I've come to actually hate the word discourse more than I hate the concept of discourse, and I hate the concept of discourse a lot. As to whether or not critics are too hard on these Mario movies, some people come at these expecting them to be like Dogman or Paw Patrol and a younger audience, and that maybe because this is an intellectual property that's 40 years old in terms of the Super Mario Brothers games and characters, that people coming into these from a review standpoint maybe weren't clocking right away. And whether or not that's appropriate, yes, would it be an interesting narrative experiment to try and make more of an all-ages, maybe even mature storyline for a Super Mario Brothers movie? Sure. That's not necessarily the film they're making, and I'm not necessarily sure that that's an intrinsic flaw. Would these be more narratively satisfying movies with room to breathe? Yes. Is there story flaws in this one, Super Mario Galaxy, that come from them not having scenes where the characters slow down and think about things for a little while? Are there story problems towards the second act where characters seem to make a major character progression and then immediately go back on them that would be easily solved by having a scene in between that? Yes, that's an actual narrative problem. Would it is aimed more at a Paw Patrol aged audience like this is? That's what this is. And I think that's okay. In terms of storytelling coherency, this is probably closer to a 7 out of 10, solid, decent, here's some crazy visuals and funny characters for your kids movie. Now on a, hey, here's some Super Mario Brothers characters, check them out on screen movie, for me it's a 10 out of 10. I saw Wart and Mauser and Birdo from Super Mario Brothers 2. Even Nintendo doesn't show me those characters a lot of the time. For me, that's a 10 out of 10. I was like, holy shit, check those guys out. Yeah, awesome. There's some very unexpected Nintendo lore characters showing up in this that just aren't even necessarily Mario characters that I was like, wow, never expected to see that. Awesome, cool, fun. That doesn't make it a good movie, but it makes it a good time at the movies. I think it is, in fact, actually hilarious to cast Donald Glover as Yoshi and just have him say Yoshi noises. I think that's funny. That's entertaining. Hey, Rob the Robot is there, and he just acts like Rob the Robot. That's a big smile on my face. I'm 45 years old, I love Nintendo stuff. I'm allowed to like that, I think. Doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and argue that this is better than some more artistically accomplished animated movie. But yes, does that make me smile like I'm 6 years old? Yeah. It's a difficult world out there. I think I'm allowed to just enjoy Rob the fucking Robot showing up. There's at least one cameo in this that hasn't been spoiled by anything that I kind of went, oh god, holy shit. There are other less successful things in it. I've never really cared for Bowser Jr. as a Mario character, and it pisses me off that he's the central villain of this, because I've always liked other bad guys better. I understand what he's doing here thematically, as close as this movie has to a thematic thing. Bowser Jr. being the bad guy trying to pull his father back into being more evil than he's trying to be. I get it. I just never liked Bowser Jr. I think the other Koopalings are funnier. If they're going for, like, old school Nintendo pulls, if, like, Tatanga from Super Mario Land had been the space bad guy instead, I would have liked that even more. But, like, he's fine. Benny Safdie's doing a fine, funny voice as him. I just never liked Bowser Jr. Jack Black is still funny as Bowser. The whole voice cast is very good. Yes, I even think Chris Pratt is fine as Mario. It's actually kind of fun that Mario is very secondary to his own movie here. I think of all the good decisions Illumination has made about these movies, recognizing Mario and Luigi, despite being the player characters of the games, do not need to be the main protagonists of the story just because their names are on it, is a good decision. It's like they looked at the angry criticism from morons of the last one that Peach was, come at us bros, we're playing with house money. I think that's fun. Nominally, the story in this one is Rosalina has been kidnapped by Bowser Jr. to do a thing. It involves, like, making a space laser. It doesn't really matter. It's not that kind of movie. So they contact Peach to please come save her, because why would you not contact another important princess person to do that? Who the hell are the Super Mario Brothers, basically? These are not famous people outside the Mushroom Kingdom. They're still just two guys that Peach knows. So Peach goes off to save her basically on her own, and Mario and Luigi get roped into following this because they are two guys that Peach knows, basically. And I think that's kind of fun. They're in this very Three Stooges, Marx Brothers sort of thing where Mario and Luigi are involved. They also use power-ups and do adventure stuff, but they are the comedy sidekicks to Princess Peach, who is the action heroine protagonist of this universe, basically, which is really cool. If there is one very interesting novel thing that Illumination is doing in this, is that they very clearly set down a differentiation between how they're doing princess characters than how, like, Disney as the base model for, you know, animated movie princess characters has been doing things. They've very clearly set aside that their princesses, rather than being teenage, you know, wistful dreamer archetypes, are basically the only adults in the room at any given time. Even when there are other, you know, adults in the room, Mario and Luigi are basically grown men who are children. Rosalina is surrounded by the Lumas, who are little babies. Peach has the Toads, who are all basically child creatures. So they are essentially omnipotent mom characters, like action hero den mothers, but they're also allowed to be funny, silly action heroines, and they get to pull comedy character cartoon faces, which other movie, it's probably the best looking Illumination. Simple, quote-unquote juvenile, comedy-driven the narrative is, versus how intricate and super devoted to quality the animation is between Jen Tartakovsky's Hotel Transylvania movies, which you can watch as just, okay, yeah, this is very hyper-vaudevillian Adam Sandler comedian shtick, but also so much hyper-quality animation that Tartakovsky is known for. This is easily the most super detailed, super pretty, super colorful, always something surprising going on in the animation that you've ever seen an Illumination movie do. Casino sequence that involves changing gravity and all of these different enemies, and, you know, the which way is up, down, side to side, what moves and powers are being used, that looks like it must have... Holy shit. This very basic plot and corny jokes and very childish stuff going on, but from an aesthetic, artistic animation standpoint, gangbusters. Beautiful. Just pretty, soak up the visual stuff. Also, good gags. Very completely inoffensively wholesome stuff. Could this be improved in any number of ways? Yes. But there's also nothing in it that, like, grates on my nerves the way that the Minions movies do, and nothing in it that ever made me feel tired or bothered that I was watching it. There's much less of the reliance on, like, top 40 radio cutaways or whatnot. So all in all, I would call this a completely enjoyable experience. I would say conservatively, I would give this if I was to imagine myself as a non-Mario fan, this is probably close to like a 7 or 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 probably being conservatively. Me personally, I saw Mouser, 10 out of 10.